It's amazing, first of all, that you found time to come on such short notice. Let's just start off with getting to understand from you as young Ethiopians, whatever is going on in your country, what sort of feeling does this bring to you? I'll start with you.
It's obviously, I'm really happy to see this change happening in Ethiopia because we've been wanting this for a lot of years. There are a lot of prime ministers coming and going, and to see him actually bringing an impact was amazing. It's just an amazing feeling.
Right. How about you?
That is so true. I really appreciate the things you have been doing for our country. And it's already 5 months and you have done a lot. And he's giving priorities to women and young people so that he actually knows that these are people who's going to take the next generation. And that is actually a pretty good thing. And he can be a good example for the rest of African leaders.
Right. And so what would you think probably was holding Ethiopia back from experiencing this good news that you say is actually coming out of there?
What was holding Ethiopia back was not finding the right leader who actually knows what the people want. They don't really understand what the people need. Yeah, I think that was the reason.
Is it the same?
It's basically opportunity. What Abiy did different from the other prime ministers or presidents is just giving opportunities to people who didn't have sound, didn't have their sound being heard by different people. So it's just the opportunity, giving a platform for people to actually come together, share their ideas, and grow together.
Right. And so what do you think, looking forward, as far as Ethiopia's economy is concerned? Do you see Ethiopia as the emerging giant of East Africa as far as the economy is concerned?
Of course. I'm seeing a very promising change. And just before one day, I think you have seen 50% of the cabinets have been elected as women. And the Ministry of Defense is a woman, which is a very weird thing thinking about it. But like, this is a very promising thing. And I am expecting a very great change. And I hope he's going to accomplish this within a very short time.
Right. He says, and actually prompts us to the issue of the new cabinet announcement, 50% women. Do you see this as just cosmetic, or you feel that this is something that actually is real? And of course, there'll be some more delivery in the new, appointed members of the cabinet.
It is real, because we haven't seen this for a lot of years. And from the women who were already like in the cabinet before, we have seen a lot of changes come from that kind of leadership. So it is actually good to see women stepping up and doing a lot of things. Like, it's really good. Yes, and it is real.
What would be their challenge, especially for the women appointed cabinet members?
I think there will be a lot of pressure on them. They're expected to perform like more than like any other man would do in that position. So I think the challenge would be like the pressure that is put on might actually a little bit like put impact on them, but I'm sure they will pass that challenge and then they'll show real progress.
Will this be fair pressure, in your opinion? Just because they're women?
Yes, it is, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. What would be the most difficult thing or most challenging thing for this new cabinet?
It's basically the expectation. They're expected to raise the bar of how things are done in Ethiopia. And quoting Dr. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed just said yesterday that one of the reasons he chose women was because they're unlikely to be corrupt. And that kind of triggers people to do more, and it's just the expectation is higher, and I hope that will be true. Right.
Let's talk about Eritrea, your neighbors. And of course, we know that Ethiopian Airlines actually made its first commercial flight also to Mogadishu, much as it also did to Eritrea. But of course, there's also been some shaky news coming out of Ethiopia. Not all has been actually rosy. We've had some violence here and there. What do you think will be the most challenging issues for Dr. Prime Minister Abiy to actually consistently drive this ambition of changing the way things are in Ethiopia?
One of the challenges he's going to face is not everybody's going to be happy with the progress he's doing, because that means some of the people who are corrupt in the past years have to change their ways, and they have to like do the things differently. So I think that's one of the challenges that he's going to face, that the opponents or other people who don't really are not in line with his like thoughts, and like I think that's why. Yeah.
What would be his challenge?
In my opinion, I think it's getting all people having a common understanding of what leadership means, what developing a country means, like having the same background and having the same ground to stand in and think about things, perspectives, and this whole stuff add up to becoming a very great nation. And I think he have a lot to do in improving this stuff.
And if you had your ears as young people coming from Ethiopia, what sort of advice then would you be giving him as far as ensuring that he succeeds in his endeavor is concerned?
The advice that we give to
Yes,
Dr.
yes.
Abiy, to keep up the good work, and yeah, I think that's it. Like he's doing a great job, so.
Yeah, we want him to keep up the good job. How about
Yeah,
you?
don't get me wrong, but like giving more opportunities to young people like us who can actually take over and bring on a very drastic change that would actually help the next generation, and just getting to involve more young people and yeah, keeping the good job.
Right. We've seen or we've heard from young people from other parts of the continent, especially those who are venturing into entrepreneurship, talking about challenges affecting them as far as access to finance is concerned, as far as issues of policies that actually support their entrepreneurship skills. How is it like in Ethiopia? Probably if you're a young person in Ethiopia wanting to start a business or wanting to do a business, how is the current regime favoring or creating a proper environment for you to actually do business as a young person?
Well, the thing that they're doing is actually encouraging like young people like us to engage in entrepreneur, like any activities. So they give us like the money to finance, but we need to come as a group and have proposals so that it's valuable enough so that they could invest in it.
So they give you the money?
Yes, but you need to come in groups, and you need to have a good proposal. If it's beneficial for the community, they will give you. They actually are giving people the finance that they need to do their projects.
In other countries, it's not easy to be given that money.
Very true, very true. I can say it's a very different thing, but like one of the promising thing I've seen is if especially people who are in SMEs, they're being given a chance, maybe a land to just work on it and pay in a longer term. So having to have like a smaller way of paying their bills, and this can actually help them in long term. And SMEs are really supported in Ethiopia, and I think he will keep doing that.
Right. And so what is that thing then that Dr. Abiy's administration is not doing right, that probably you feel needs to be shaken up a bit?
It's
Let's
more
break
of
some ice.
it's more of a judgmental question. I don't know exactly, but some of the actions, some of the decisions he's making are being questioned by the people, and they don't think he's doing the right thing. But we can't usually judge because we haven't been in that position, and there is certain expectations from a leader, and I think that's what he's doing. And he should just push. I know people will get very tough, so he should just push, and try to motivate his people.
Right. I saw you passing the ball over to him. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen bad things like Dr. Abiy's doing bad things. Like everything that he did was betterment for the society. So I don't think that he needs to improve in a certain aspect. That's my opinion. But many might like disagree with me. But in my opinion, and
what do they
I've
say when they
seen-
disagree with you? What is it that they say?
Okay, well, this is a funny one because they say that he's too empathetic. He has to like act like a leader. He shouldn't like hug everyone he sees on the road and stuff like that. So it's actually simple things, but people actually talk about it as being a bad thing. But for me, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The fact that he's hugging people, it's him being a good leader, like empathetic leader. But some people see that as a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
As you say, it's a simple thing, but let's now talk about something that is a bit heavy, and that is external debt. That the country is actually incurring from China. We've seen a lot of Chinese investments over there, and in other African countries, we've seen young people saying that our country or our countries are being actually sold right under our noses to the Chinese as far as debt is concerned. And we are the ones, as young people, who are going to bear the brunt of the consequences of this. Tell me a bit about your thoughts as young people in Ethiopia as far as debt is concerned that is actually being taken in from China by Ethiopia.
Yeah, that's a really good question. As you've said, like most of the infrastructures built in Ethiopia are funded by the Chinese government. And if you think about it, that's actually a bad thing because we are the ones who are going to pay the price. Yeah. So we need to build like Ethiopia by Ethiopians, not by other foreign countries. Because in long term, in the good term, it might be good because we are going to have better infrastructures, better roads. But on the long term, we're the one who has to pay the price, and it's just not good.
Yeah, yeah. I did.
One of the things Abiy Ahmed did was like after, I think it was after April that he went visiting for different people, Ethiopians abroad. So he created this community where people can actually contribute $1 per day, so that these small bills can actually be higher.
Will that be enough to pay back the Chinese government? 59.5% is actually what we're looking at as far as debt is concerned.
That's true. That can't be all it. But like just like Eden said, he's trying to change the education system, how things are done, the entrepreneurship side of the education system, and we're trying to localize everything. And just like a few days ago, the World Bank wants to facilitate this change, and they have injected around $1 billion. So, as a start, it's a good thing. But like in the future, I think we're trying to minimize this as much as possible, and I hope we will succeed.
Build Ethiopians by Ethiopians. This is what she said.
Exactly.
How practical is that?
It is practical.
How?
I would say this because I'm in Rwanda. I'm studying in Africa Leadership University. I'm seeing people from different backgrounds. So going back to my country for my internship and looking at different people, the skills, the amazing things we can actually do are not tapped. There is a huge untapped market in Ethiopia, and I think we can use that opportunity and we can leverage it.
Right. Yeah. So why do you believe that Africa actually, or people from the world, should believe in the Ethiopian economy as far as investing is concerned, as we finalize?
Because Ethiopia is full of like people with potential. We come from like a different background. We've not been colonized, and we actually have a lot to give. Like we have a lot of potential when it comes to education. We're like a lot of students, like they're fresh and they want to do like things that could actually change or impact their community. So this population is actually hungry for development, and yeah.
So the future is bright.
It's bright.
Indeed.